We made 336 pips in the last, 7 days? 100% win rate, granted only one trade, but we did that all live here on YouTube. Tonight, we've got a couple more trades for you, and the holiday season's coming, and just a few things to share that we're doing over in the community. So, without further ado, hi, my name is Jenny Baker. For those of y'all who don't know me, I'm the six-figure trading coach. We run this nice little community that has all kinds of amazing things coming from Forex to futures to automated, print your way kind of hands-free monies, and just helping people win on a regular basis. That's really the objective, right? Of course, we have to start with a disclaimer that says everything we discuss in these calls and or in the community is for educational purposes only, not legal, not financial, and not investing advice. Some people may be doing extremely high-risk things. Some people may be doing a little bit slower. More experience, less experience, more capital. You guys get the gist. So here's where we are. You'll notice that this is from literally last week on November 12th. This is typically right around the time that market opens, right? It's somewhere in around between that 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern time frame period. We were looking at a trade on GBP, JPY. We had a lot of other things going on news-wise, didn't want to play, plus post-election. Wasn't quite worth the whirlwind, if you will. So that's the one that we looked at. Since doing this live public Forex experiment video, we've got over almost 30,000 pips. Our current accuracy is sitting somewhere around 88%. Our average win-to-loss ratio is somewhere between a 4-to-1 and a 3-to-1. That is not a bad way to be. Obviously, some of these trades run vastly beyond when we stop tracking them and where we're kind of in them. And some of them, barely hit a couple of the take profits. That's not the point. The point is being able to profit long-term consistently, right? Again, we go over this quite often, but if you're risking a moderate 1 to 5% with a very reasonable 5 to 10,000, most of us have access to that kind of capital. If you are, it's such a taboo topic, but most of us have access to this kind of capital. If you don't, I'm sure we can go over budgets and say, wait, how do we expand our lifestyle, right? How do we maybe pay down some debt, stop spending where we shouldn't be spending, cancel the things we don't need, and actually just start to pay toward creating financial freedom, creating generational wealth, if you will. But either way, if not, there's all kinds of different programs and abilities to help you get that. To give you an idea, at only 1%, 34,000 beats what a lot of people make in a year. At 3%, that's $250,000, right? And of course, at 5%, that's 3 million. If you fail at this by 90%, you're still beating people who have a doctorate degree in terms of financial income. And you're doing that just with this one aspect, which is 40 minutes a month. Okay, 40 minutes a month, to give you an idea. But that's all I've got there in our live classes. Let me go to all time. We had a great week last week. I really loved every single one of the trades that we took. This one right here was the one that barely hit a couple take profit, but the rest of them, I just love the analysis. I love how they played out. I love everything about the trades that we took. So we're sitting at about 1.3 million trades since we began tracking, which is about, a year and a half, 2 years after we started doing this. What else? And of course, this doesn't count for the entirety of the move. That includes for not only gold, but also US30. So that's what we've got in terms of just showing. Just to give you an idea, this is our trade results kind of room, if you will. We are helping tons and tons of people inside of our community accomplish great things, not only from our US30 copier, which is going incredibly well, but also just our classes, right? People are testing different versions of the golden strategy, which is what we use on these 4-hour calls, as well as we've got a couple of DEAs that come inside of the community and our copier services, and we're doing futures. There are all kinds of people accomplishing some really great things. I think this guy made over 100%. Just looking, sorry. Of course, tracking on TradeZella. I don't have TradeZella personally, although I probably should get it. We've got our futures, trades we called in class, and just how all of this is impacting the community. This would be when our gold and US30 copier closes. We get that posted too. Hold on, let's see if I can't show you all of the things. These were the 2 trades. That's what I wanted to show you. These are the 2 trades that we looked at last Thursday. Just beautifully set up. This is on gold and on US30. Perfect situation. I think on this day we did over $1,900 on US30 in a single day. The following day we did even more than that. I'm not sure where that one's at, but it's somewhere. That's of course Apex, and we've got Top Step, Apex, Top Step. You guys get the idea. So these are the trades we took, and I'll show those in another second or so from this morning's. And as you can see, just inside of our community on a day in, day out basis, we're getting it done. There are lots of members who are profiting right alongside us. And of course, right now, currently, for free, anybody who's inside of our free public Discord has access to our altcoin server, where we're dropping a lot of different altcoins. Now, granted, these are high risk, okay? Some of these are performing incredibly well. Obviously, some they can be very high risk in terms of the legitimacy of them. But either way, if you're making, 1,000% in a very short amount of time, might be definitely worth looking into. So we've got a couple members in our community, mostly our future millionaire there, who's posting all of these things, doing all the research and legwork for you, and it's all available to you inside of our Discord. So please make sure you check that out. And of course, we have our live calls in the morning. This morning the market just wasn't moving too much for opening bell. This time frame doesn't look too shabby, but on the smaller time frame, it really just stayed within that opening range for quite a while. This is our buy that we took, and of course we had gold as well, which didn't really make its major move. Enough to get our take profits, but since then, if I zoom out, we're still kind of, for our Forex brokers, we're still kind of just in range, not really made a move yet. We'll see if we can break that trend line to the downside and get some continuation. But in terms of being able to profit on our Forex and our futures accounts, well, we got that profit. Got that profit here as well. Multiple different entries. As soon as we broke that upper trend line there, we were really just easy peasy direction, and not a bad way to be. So without going any further into our morning stuff and what we're doing in indices and in futures, let's go take a look at the many setups we have coming up the next couple of weeks. Okay, as you guys know, we're on MT4. We're using this during our class time. This is a demo broker. First things first, we always start by reviewing the trades we looked at. And that means the good, the bad, and the ugly, the wins and the losses. We have a world where people hide their losses. We have a world where people don't know how to lose. I mean, I think that's one of the deficits to winning, right? Is people don't know how to lose, so that's when they blow their account. That's when people don't have any off-risk capital that they can throw in. That's when people let their futures accounts just go against them and don't know how to cut their loss, right? Losing is part of this industry. Not every trade can be a winner, no matter how great your analysis is. Remember, you're not a winning trader just because your trade wins. You're a winning trader if you can follow your trading plan, right? So I think the review part of all this, although it takes time, is definitely still the most valuable thing that we do in our morning sessions and, of course, on these YouTubes. So first things first, we looked at GJ. This is where we were looking. We pulled up. We never broke structure, but are yet major structure. Since then, we've moved over 300 and some odd pips. Don't quote me exactly. We've got 332. I think we've clocked 336 to give you an idea. I do think we have more room to the downside. So I'm going to leave this up to continue tracking because next week is Thanksgiving and I'm going to be traveling. I'll be in Colorado and Breckenridge in the Springs for a little while. So we're not doing a 4-hour video then. So we're not really going to get back until the following week. So there's a lot of time for this to play out. If you've already scaled out of some of your positions as we came into our area of interest, please scale out of some more or potentially look for a re-entry. Otherwise, our next targets are going to not be until down in this area, right? My little areas of interest, and we'll see. So that's GJ. Definitely not a bad trade. Next things next. You'll notice a lot of the pairs that are setting up right now are USD pairs. Obviously, we cannot be that over-leveraged on the US dollar. We know the reason why the US dollar is setting up so much is because we're 2 weeks post-election. So there's a lot of digestion going on. But with that in mind, we still have to play it very safe. There's still a lot of manipulation and room for this to go 1,000 ways. But again, following true to that strategy that we know has been back-tested and proven, that we know we can count on and we can manage around, it's worthwhile looking at these. I would highly advise against taking every single one of these, okay? Again, I'll say that one more time. I'll highly advise against taking every single USD trade. But here's where we're at. We always mark up a vertical line on the candle prior to the one that we're on. We're looking for sells. We've got our JGS, our golden strategy sell ticket arrow. All that's telling us is the conditions are met. I'm going to be looking for a sell here. Mind you, the amount of room this can pull up is quite a bit. So if you want to wait for a pullback, that's not a bad way to be. That's 47 and even all the way up to 115 pips without breaking structure. So in some of these, you might want to wait until you get the pullback, and we're sitting at a very significant area, right? We pulled down. This is This level has been respected quite a bit, right where we're sitting right now. So expect a bounce, expect a reaction. Let's see if I can't just mark that up in advance. Okay. Oopsie. That's not much of a trend line. We're looking for some kind of a pullback. And of course, the time frame in which you get that on is going to be ultimately up to you. But if you're looking to swing trade, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a decent pullback. And if you aren't risking too much, you can afford to peacefully take your 20-minute trade twice a month and let it pull back if it will. It doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter a whole bunch. But as we break this level, my next key level, if I could make my mouse stop being silly, it's going to be in this range. Kind of a big range for multiple reasons. Look at the bottom of this upper range. That's where this top is sitting, and the bottom is sitting toward the top of this lower range, right? So I really like this area. I think it's definitely a worthwhile trade. That's number one. AUDUSD, I like this one better. This is where we're sitting, so we're going to grab our vertical line, drop it literally exactly where price is at. I'm going to turn this green for buy. Gotcha. This one requires much less of a pullback. Much less. Obviously, you can be protecting and locking some of your position at that ADR range. And then as we come up, we're going to come up into here. That's going to be quite the ask. Okay, it's definitely going to be quite the ask, but overall, I love that trade. Risk to reward on that's pretty good too. NZDUSD, again, very comparable, but just inverse to what we saw in USDCAD. Here's our breakout. We've come to the level in which we stopped before. So this supply becomes demand, demand becomes supply kind of concept. That's where we're sitting right now. So we're sitting at a very significant area. If and when we manage to break through, obviously we're looking to clear that high. See if we get the pullback. And I would put a question mark on here if I was on TradingView, but I'm not. So how we interact with these levels determines on whether or not I'm looking for additional entries or looking to hold. How candles form at these significant next levels. So obviously, again, you can protect as you come into that ADR high, as well as you have some other price action that's happening over here. We've got a nice little fair value gap. And beyond that, we're looking to break this high in this range. We'll break above it, retest into it, and take off. There's a lot of weeks for this to play out. So I think these are worthwhile tracking. When there's your draw, at the end of this next 2 or 3 weeks, you should be net positive on these pips. And I'd love to hear more about it. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and of course all the stuff YouTube likes. But in the comments, tell me, hey, I took this on demo or paper trading. Here's how I did. Here's how I managed. Here's how my pips or how much percentage I gained from this analysis. Because this analysis is incredibly valuable, especially in the right hands. That's NZDUSD. And again, just for giggles, we cannot take every single one of these USD trades. There's not a lot setting up. I like JPYs on quite a few of these, but there's not a lot setting up, according to this particular strategy at least, on the other pairs. There's a few I like. This one's already moved quite a bit, so that's why I kind of veered away. Again, already moved quite a bit and veered away. Moved a whole bunch too far away. You guys get the idea. Not quite set up yet, but one that is set up, last but not least, is going to be AUDCHF. This one has a much smaller ATR. Remember, our rules for management are already defined. You don't have to speculate. You don't have to guess. And if you can follow a simple set of instructions, you can be profitable literally just with these YouTube videos twice a month. Literally just this and nothing else, okay? The rules are very simple. You're putting your stop loss at structure. You can use 1 to 3 fractals back on the 4-hour time frame. I always use a pad of at least 1 ATR. In this case, the ATR is pretty small. I'm always locking or scaling out of profit at 1 ATR, if you're familiar with that concept, or 25 to 50 pips, depending on the pair, right? I'm always looking for re-entries at retests, typically on the 15-minute time frame, right? And that's it. I'm taking it to the next highs, to the next swing highs. I'm taking it to the next, what I call areas of interest, which really, my areas of interest are almost always 100% of the time right before the swing highs. Okay, I'm looking for if we're bullish and moving up, I'm looking for that last bullish candle before the bearish drop. If we're bearish and moving down, I'm looking for that last bearish candle before the bullish move up, right? And that's all I'm really looking at. I'm looking at places where price forms a peak on a line chart, and I'm always going prior to that peak. That's where I'm mapping up, and you'll notice how much that lines up with my area of interest. So my zone comes below that point, And that's it. And do that over and over and over again. Let's see. Beyond this trade, we're kind of coming into this nice little wedge pattern though. So if we are to move up, how much more beyond that blue target are we going to get? It really is going to depend on whether or not we can break this upper kind of trend line. We're already forming this nice little wedge pattern, this nice little flag, right? Let's make sure we treat that super, super protectively, super, super smart and mindful in terms of how we're locking our profits. And other than that, that's it. So we've got 4 new trades for the day. Please make sure you track this. Please make sure you comment and tell me how you're doing with this. We've got a lot of history on this channel just showing, hey, look at this. This is what's possible. I'm super excited for all of y'all who are coming along with the journey with us. As always, if you have questions or comments, put those in the chat. And me or my team, which I have to throw some love toward, they have been completely incredible. We're getting so much more done with the right hands on the right projects, and I'm super grateful for that. But me and my team will definitely get back to you. So, to each and every one of you guys, I pray that you have an incredible Thanksgiving. Please make sure you love on your loved ones. That is the reason for the season, right? Is just a spirit of gratitude, a spirit of gratefulness to all of the many blessings that we have in our world. So, happy Thanksgiving to you and your happy trading, and take care, and God bless.